Hello, this is Gary Flisspart. I distribute the GLF Programming Environment, or GLFPE, for Linux portable operating system. It's a custom remix distribution based on Debian Linux. I distribute this through the internet. You have to, the first thing you need to know if you want to try it out is where to download it. Now, to show you this, I'm using facilities of the GLFPE itself. What you see in this video is a sample of the desktop screen from GLFPE. It is fully capable of doing the download. You could also do this download for the first time if you were just starting out trying it out. You might do it from Windows. For here, I have the facilities built in to record this desktop, so I'm going to use this to demonstrate how it can download itself, in effect. If you can see this video in the first place, you can get to YouTube. On my YouTube website, I have included below the video itself, in the description that's underneath it, if you do the show more, you'll see a longer description. It includes a drive link. If you click on that, it will go to Google Drive site that I've put up that has the files of interest. I'm going to make it fit a little better on the screen. If you click on this list view, you can change the view back and forth between this kind of view and that kind of a view. I prefer the list view myself. At any event, if you look under the file list, you'll see a variety of things for different variations of the programming environment. I've tried to port this package of programming tools and utilities to the best I can between Windows and Linux and even Raspberry Pi, which runs a variant of Linux. But what you'll find on here is GLFPE Debian Live Boot Images. If you click on that, you go down the tree and you'll find ISO files. If you download one of these, you can burn it to a DVD or copy it to a USB stick, make it bootable, and you should be able to boot the Linux operating system on a trial basis as a live boot system, which makes no commitments to your system unless you want to. You don't have to install it. You can run it from the ISO, run it from the DVD or USB stick by itself, make no changes. Everything runs out of memory to the extent that it can, or the disk itself. So it's a no-commitment way of trying it out. If you try it and like it, you could install it if you want to a computer, but you really don't have to. You can run it. I personally run it as a live boot system almost all the time. I have a couple machines I've installed it on, but for the most part I use the live boot system. It's just more convenient to me on old desktop machines that I have around. In any event, you need to pick one of these. Now, because I'm running this on a live boot system and things run out of the RAM, and these are very large files, they're 2.5 gigabytes in size, I need to make sure I have a place to put the files that's big enough to hold them. So I've put an extra USB stick into the machine. This particular one is formatted as ext4 for Linux. It could be formatted FAT32 for a download. I did it for a technical reason, dealing with making this video itself. I made it a Linux disk. But the only thing that's important is you need a place to put it. I'm going to put things into downloads. If you have not already done this on your browser, and since this is a fresh boot off of live disk, this hasn't been done here, you can go into settings on Chromium. You can use Firefox, you can use Chromium, you can use any browser that works, Microsoft Edge if you've got it on a Windows machine. But in the case of Chromium, if I want to select where I'm going to download, I have to go into the settings and change this setting here where it asks me where to send a file. That way I can make sure when I download it I put it on a drive that has plenty of room. So I'm going to select one of these disks. Now I have versions. I have actually different variants. I have GLFPE for two different systems, AMD64 and i386. But I also have a couple of other experimental things I'm doing, GFPCB, to run to produce PCB boards, printed circuit boards. That's just one I'm playing with right now. It's out there, but I don't have a lot of experience with it yet. GWine is similarly, I'm experimenting with using the Wine package, which will run Windows executables in Linux. But it's kind of a large system. Both of these two, the PCB board and the Wine emulator stuff, is pretty large, and I decided to put them onto different distributions so they don't take up so much room. I have an awful lot of applications on the GLFPE, and they already take up quite a bit of room. So I'm going to select the 386 version to download, and we'll download. When I click the download, it should give me an option of where to save it, and in this case I'm going to put it on the disk that I've selected for the purpose. It started to download it. This may take a little while, but it shouldn't take terribly long. I have reasonable bandwidth here, and it's about 2.5 gigabytes. I'll continue the recording. I may edit it down later to skip over some of this time. Okay, it's apparently finished downloading. Now, given that it's downloaded, get out of this screen by going back to this, and we'll show you that it's downloaded right here. There's the file. We'll download one more file. We won't have to stop the video. This won't take very long. These are checksums. You can either download them or leave them there on the site. I'm going to go ahead and download them. The same space. What these are checksums. We'll run a program. In the Linux case, it's called MD5 sums. Microsoft distributes a program called, I believe, FCIV that will do the same thing from Windows. I think that means file checksum integrity verifier. At any event, you can see that if you can get to my YouTube site and find the videos, if these videos have given you an interest in trying this out for yourself, you can find the files by clicking on the link that you find under the description. Until I set up some kind of a specific website with its own address or something like that, this is the best way I have of distributing for now. At any event, just to show you the use of the checksums, I'm going to bring up a terminal underneath the same directory that I downloaded it. The ls is similar to the dir in Windows. It shows you what's in the directory. At any event, if I do md5 sum, this will take a couple of minutes, but MD5 sum will do the MD5 checksum. Basically, it adds up all the bytes in the file with a couple of tricks to make it more secure and reliable than that. But the The idea is that any file that is different by even 1 bit somewhere within the file from another file that is otherwise identical, it will have a different checksum, and usually the checksum is tremendously different if there's any kind of a difference at all. If the two files are different, this number will be quite different than the number that will show up. If the number is the same, then the two files have identical contents. The text file that I left on the website contains the checksums as I uploaded them to the site. If you download it, you should get the same checksum. That means that the transfer was successful in both directions. That what you got is the same as what I put up there. So what we're looking for in this case, since we're looking at the 386 version of GLFPE, version 512, we're looking for this number here. Any second now, hopefully, the checksum will be finished. It's a fairly big file. It takes a little while to read it. It has to read through every byte in the file. There we go. We have a number, 0C. I'm going to copy it out of here. Copied a little more than I wanted. But here you see this 0C thing. There's the one in the other from the original file, and the two numbers are identical, left to right. Every digit is the same, every character is the same. So that means that what I just downloaded is identical to what I uploaded earlier. If you were to download it and do the same check, you would know the same thing. Okay, so now that we have this ISO file, I'll bring up the archiver to just show you what's in it. This is the contents of the ISO file. These are the files that would be copied to a DVD or a USB drive to render it the content of the Linux operating system as I have put it together, tailored with the applications and libraries and content that I wanted on it. That's what makes it a custom remix. The official Debian Linux works fine, but it doesn't have the same content. I have put content on there that I think enhances its use for my personal purposes, and I'm merely showing that you can do the same thing. In other videos I will show you how you can build your own version of this ISO file if you choose. But just to use it, you can download my version of the file, you can burn it to a USB stick or a DVD drive and run it from there. In later videos I'll show you how to take an ISO file and burn it to a DVD, or to take an ISO file and cut it to a USB stick using programs that are available either in Windows or in Linux. And I'll let those videos explain to you how to cut the ISO file to something you can run. So I hope you try this, download one and try to burn one of these and deal with it. I'm excited about this and I like to share the work. But check out the other videos to learn how to do this, and goodbye for now.